Hello everybody, this is Mr. the Plague, and I've decided to do my inaugural editing video here on an issue that has just come up from the Supreme Court. And this is going to be very short, but I want to just get this out here a little bit here. Let's go ahead and get to it, shall we? I think we shall. And what we have here, as we grow this, we'll just shrink it a little bit here, back down a little bit here, is a new Supreme Court decision on the civil asset forfeiture that just came out, ladies and gentlemen. This ruling has just happened. The Supreme Court rules the Constitution limits civil asset forfeiture and excessive fines. The justices have ruled unanimously that the Constitution restriction on excessive fines and seizures applies to states and local governments. The Supreme Court ruled unanimously to limit the ability to seize property, including the controversial practice of civil asset forfeiture. The voting 9-0, the justices found that the Constitution's prohibition on excessive fines under the Eighth Amendment applies not only to federal government but also to state and local authority, and that practices such as civil asset forfeitures, where law enforcement can seize the property of anyone accused of criminal activity regardless of whether they are convicted or even charged, run afoul with that restriction. For good reason, the protection against excessive fine has been a constant shield throughout the Anglo-American history. Exorbitant tolls undermine the constitutional liberty, Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg wrote for the court's opinion. The ruling came in a case brought by Tyson Timms, an Indian man, and a man who sued the state after the police seized his $42,000 Land Rover when he pled guilty in 2015 to selling less than $400 worth of heroin. Tyson maintained that he bought the luxury SUV with proceeds from his late father's insurance policy, and he has since argued that the seizure of the car was disproportionate to the crime. Now, let's talk about this issue for just a moment, shall we, ladies and gentlemen? The problem that you're seeing here, the problem I have with what they're saying, is that now I like the court's decision overall. I don't like civil asset forfeiture because it could be applied to anything. What this does, though, by saying that it's still a legal practice, is it doesn't go as far as I think it needs to. This practice of civil asset forfeiture is dangerous for everyone. Everyone can be negatively affected by this, and it needs to be looked at. In this case now, what they've done is they said, well, we'll let the courts decide. All this is going to do is create more and more and more court cases now. It's going to impact the court saying, okay, well, we're giving the justices power themselves. This is a nice ruling, all right, in that I don't like the law, but it doesn't make the law illegal. Do you see the problem now? Anyway, that's all I've got for the moment. I wanted to make this fairly quick. I hope you all have a good day now, and I'll talk at you later.